It is indeed amazing how the political situation in Kenya has shifted so dramatically. So dramatically that it is completely unrecognizable, when you look at it compared to just a few weeks ago. A few very short weeks ago, we had the Raila camp versus the Uhuru Kenyatta camp. Today, we have the Ruto camp, the Raila and Uhuru camp, and the Miguna camp. Now I'm speaking purely politically. There's nothing personal here. I don't hate anybody. I'm just analyzing this from a political point of view. Now for the Raila Uhuru camp, to win the day, to continue their program and so on, their main obstacle is the Miguna camp. Now, based on what we know now, it seems that the Raila Uhuru camp is ahead. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Now, of course, the Miguna camp has massive support countrywide. You remember the survey I carried out on this channel? That one you cannot dispute. And of course, very strong backing from Kenyans in the diaspora. However, based on my latest information, it seems that Raila Odinga is set to yet again, I say yet again because he's done it many times before, this is a politician who has very many lives, okay? According to my latest information, Raila is set to pull yet another rabbit from the hat, magic. And if that works, then a lot of the support which Miguna enjoys, could lean towards the Raila Uhuru camp. Notice I chose my words very carefully. Could lean, not will, not must. Now there's a very big if here, and the big if is this. If Raila Odinga can manage to pull off, what they have planned and deliver to the Kenyan people something which a lot of Kenyans believed was not possible, was impossible, that could very quickly shift the support base, which many people feel has slipped away from Raila. That support base could be shifted in a flash very quickly back to Raila Odinga. Now, in my previous recording, I let the cat out of the bag. I revealed one of the major things the Raila camp is set to deliver to Kenyans, okay? And also in my latest Club 1999 recording, which will go up shortly, I talk more deeply about this. I include quite a lot of sensitive information that I cannot put on the open channel. So you just need to join Club 1999, catch up with that, okay? If not, don't worry too much about it. There's also quite a lot of information in my previous recording. The long and short of it is that the Raila Uhuru agenda is to unite Kenyans, okay? And if they pull off, that mission of uniting Kenyans, okay? And as I said in my previous recording, it will also involve revisiting historical injustices, okay? Of course, there are a lot of obstacles there. That's why I said if, okay? There are a lot of things that can still go wrong. The truth is, the situation concerning the Raila Uhuru camp and the Miguna camp is still very fluid, okay? So we cannot pass any sweeping judgments there. We cannot make any sweeping statements there. That's why I've chosen my words carefully, okay? But we can focus on the Ruto camp because the fate of the Ruto camp seems to be sealed. Now, Ruto supporters tend to be very radical. They don't want to hear anything, that talks about Ruto not being president in 2022. And the truth is, you cannot reason with an emotional person, okay? This analysis, of course, is non-emotional. We're just very mechanically, without feelings, without my feelings, analyzing the political situation. The truth is that the Ruto camp has been boxed into a corner, which in my view is almost impossible to get out of. And there are a few very important political lessons to be learned here, Okay? The biggest problem DP Ruto is suffering is an issue of trust. Now, unfortunately, in Kenyan politics, it is not enough for the voters, the electorate to trust you. Okay? Those who own Kenya must also trust you. That is the current situation. That is the reality. Sad as it is the reality. And for those who own Kenya, it's really a very simple question. And the question is this: who would you trust more, to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta? Raila Odinga or DP William Ruto? Now, according to those who own Kenya, this is a no-brainer. Okay? Ruto cannot be trusted. And there are many reasons why the political class cannot trust Ruto. Okay? For starters, how Ruto gained prominence, how he came into power, has those who own Kenya very, very wary of him. Ruto has a fanatical following on the ground, as far as the Rift Valley is concerned. Well, so does Raila Odinga in Nyanza province and beyond. However, there's a difference, and we'll come to Raila Odinga in a minute. Let's finish off with Ruto first. Now, the most scary thing about this support of DP Ruto is the fact that in 2007, this support base of DP Ruto caused such serious, unprecedented, horrific chaos in Kenya. That makes very many people nervous. Okay? In other words, one of DP Ruto's greatest political strengths is actually now turning out to be his weakness, or turning out now to be a huge disadvantage to him. Now, currently, it's very fascinating because the strategy seems to be to weaken DP Ruto in the Rift Valley. And it seems that this will be done by trying to shift, if not all the support, a substantial amount of that support base in the direction of Gideon Moi. And it seems that this is going to be done in a way that will appeal to the massive vote-rich Rift Valley. Now, what is most important to the vote in Rift Valley is this: are we going to be in government? That is the most powerful tool to appeal to voters in the Rift Valley. And so, the plan is very simple, is to convince voters on the ground that the only way the Rift Valley can remain very powerful in government is to stick with Gideon Moi. And this is why his national profile is being raised dramatically. And in the days to come, will continue to be raised dramatically. Alliances between Gideon Moi's Rift Valley and other areas in the country, and especially NASA strongholds, is in the works. And very interesting. It seems that that particular aspect will work. That is national support. As far as the Rift Valley is concerned, nobody can make a call there, because Rift Valley voters are extremely unpredictable. However, the premise which is being used to shift them away from DP Ruto on paper appears viable. Now, as I said a moment ago, Raila Odinga also has very radical grassroots support, the same as Ruto. So what is the difference? What makes the political class trust Raila Odinga more despite everything that has happened? Okay, now we're going to tackle that after the short upcoming commercial break. Please don't go away. Welcome back. The huge difference between Raila Odinga and DP William Ruto is that the younger man, Ruto, does not have a track record of protecting, defending the political class. But Raila has. Yep, you heard me right. Raila has a track record in that area. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you what it is in a minute. Ruto's vengeful character and very short fuse, yeah, he has quite a temper, yeah, is well known. Raila is an older, wiser man. He can be radical, but then he's also a realist, and his track record has proved that. Now, I've already mentioned this in this channel before, but when Daniel Toroitich arap Moi, yeah, former president, left power in 2002, he made very elaborate arrangements as far as his exit strategy was concerned. Yeah, he wanted to enjoy his retirement in peace without being bothered. Okay, but things went wrong in 2003 when a bill landed in Parliament, and the whole idea was to arrest Bwana Moi and put him on trial for crimes committed while he was in office. And initially, it looked like this was a done deal because it was assumed at the time, it seemed that Raila Odinga and his following would fully back such a move. But to everybody's utter amazement, Raila Odinga fully supported the retired president to the hilt. Now, one of the reasons why this amazed people is that Moi had detained Raila. Moi was responsible for a lot of suffering that Raila had gone through. But Raila came through for Moi, that bill was defeated, and Moi was safe to continue enjoying his retirement. Bottom line, Raila Odinga has a track record protecting the political class. Now, Moi and Raila go a long way back, and maybe it's good we take a quick look at this so that we understand why Raila behaved in this way. Now, after the 1982 failed coup attempt, okay, Raila was really cooked because of his role in that particular coup, and he was due to be hanged. Okay, was it not for the intervention of his father, the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga? And as a result of that, Raila Odinga's life was saved, and instead he was sent into detention without trial. But part of the deal was also to help in making a case against the then very powerful Charles Njonjo, the former AG. This seems to have been part of the deal between the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Raila's father, and Moi in sparing Raila's life. Fast forward to 1991, okay, Raila was fleeing the country and he was crossing Lake Victoria into Uganda, from where he flew on to Norway. But during the crossing, unknown to Raila, the local intelligence community had tracked Raila right down to the shores of Lake Victoria. Now, this very fascinating information is contained in a biography written by former retired Lieutenant General Lazarus Semboio. Yeah, Semboio in his autobiography says that actually there was a sniper who had Raila on his crosshairs. Yeah, and the sniper was just waiting for orders to fire, and that would have been the end of Raila. Now, of course, orders to do something like that can only come from one place. Yeah, of course, the highest authority in the land. Yeah, and according to Semboio, those orders never came, and Raila Odinga was allowed to cross safely across Lake Victoria onto Uganda and onto exile in Norway. The long and short of all this is that when Moi was in trouble in 2003, there were favors he would call in. Yeah, as you can clearly see from the stories I've just told you. Now, Raila has another advantage which has helped seal DP Ruto's fate, okay, which has nothing to do with his character. And it is a simple fact that a political union between the Luo community and the Kikuyu would give us a much more stable Kenya than a continued political union between the Kalenjin and the Kikuyu. And what is more, it has been proven that Raila can actually pull in, yeah, the Kalenjin into his government, yeah, or rather into his corner. to succeed Uhuru Kenyatta. And so that alone neatly casts Ruto aside from the political equation that is the political future of Kenya. For Ruto, the political reality is the fact that yes, a deal was made between the Kalenjin community and the Kikuyu that Ruto would take over in 2022, but that has been overtaken by events. Politics is never stagnant. Yeah, politics is very fluid, and things have changed. Indeed, they have changed dramatically, and therefore, that arrangement is no longer viable. The Raila arrangement is much more viable on paper at the moment. Now, having said all that, the reality is that Ruto will fight back very hard. Indeed, he has already started fighting back very hard. It is obvious that he is very eager to position himself as a hustler, somebody who is not from a privileged family, somebody who is one of us, one of the voters. And indeed, that is what his visit to the market where he used to sell chicken was all about, in Uasin Gishu. In the weeks and months to come, we should expect DP Ruto to highlight his humble beginnings in a very major way. That's, to continue to appeal to voters and to position himself as the only option, the only alternative, the only viable alternative to political dynasties, which Kenyans are completely fed up of. That should be very clear. Now, in the backdrop of all this unfolding drama is the Kenyan, the ordinary voter. Indeed, the vast majority of Kenyans right across the country. And what do they want? They want electoral justice, like yesterday. They have never moved on to this new handshake arrangement, and chances are that they will never move into that new handshake arrangement. However, as I mentioned earlier, Raila is banking on the fact that what he is able to deliver will sway the masses, will sway that support he may have lost back to him and Uhuru. I think we all know Raila Odinga's favorite saying, he likes saying that there are many ways to skin a cat. In other words, there are very many ways to achieve your objective. And so currently, Raila is pursuing an alternative route, to electoral justice and to the long list agenda that NASA had. And the huge advantage, the big thing he has going for him, is that he has the full support of the Mount Kenya region and the Mount Kenya bloc. And he also has the full support of the current Uhuru Kenyatta government. Now, you can see it is impossible to predict what will happen next. However, there are few things that seem to be certain. One of those things is that DP William Ruto is not in a good position. Indeed, DP William Ruto is in a position that will be very difficult to recover from. The major shakers and movers of Kenyan politics going forward will clearly be the Uhuru Raila camp and the Miguna camp. There's actually very little that the Ruto camp can do to feature as a major mover and shaker in Kenyan politics going forward. Very interesting political situation. And of course, I'll keep you posted on how it unfolds. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.